from the NowMedia Radio newsroom in Houston and simulcasting in real time to the world. This is NowMedia News with Sherman On and Matey Bay-Steris. Be ready. Be in the moment. Be in the now. NowMedia News starts now.
NowMedia News. You can see a live shot there from courtesy of the NowMedia broadcast drone there, capturing a little bit of the line of Houston there. Unfortunately, we start off with some tragic news of some police brutality occurring in Sarasota, Florida. Maite, what do we have there?
Yes, that's correct. Unfortunately, we have another police brutality that took place in Florida and Sarasota, where a police officer has been placed on hold for police brutality and for putting his knee on a suspect's neck and the suspect's face as well. In a few seconds, we'll have the video.
All right, as you can see there, unfortunately, this is caught in a Facebook.
That's correct.
Come on, man. You got your knee on my man's neck, man. On his neck, bro. I got you on his neck, man. I got you on my man's neck, sir.
His knee.
Man. It took 3 of y'all to take him down after you had him cuffed, yo. What kind of shit is that, my guy? He was already cuffed. Then 3 of y'all took him down.
For real? For real?
Putting his knee there on his face. You would think that after all that's been happening with the news, the protests that have been happening, that there would be better ways to restrain people than using your knee on someone's face.
Yes, and we keep on seeing these incidents happening over and over again. And then we wonder, do the police need a new training manual? Do they need to be better trained? I mean, what's going on? Because this is an incident that we keep seeing over and over in different cities across the U.S. So obviously there's something wrong there. On a different note, we have the first memorial service in Minneapolis today for the death for George Floyd. Where different celebrities and family members attended this memorial service.
And we know that it's ultimately shifting that he's going to be buried here in Houston. And so as we look to that, there's going to be some preparations. What can Houston anticipate, how that's going to kind of play out there, might they, over a couple days?
Well, we have a public viewing set for Monday at the Fountain of Praise Church. This is a Christian church and is scheduled from noon to 6 p.m. at 1395 Hillcrest Avenue. Casual attire is permitted. Masks and gloves have to be worn. And no more than 500 people are allowed to be present at a time. Then on Tuesday, there will be a funeral, private funeral for George Floyd here in Houston. George Floyd grew up in Houston, so that's why the funeral is taking place here. And the city is on call kind of because we are expecting this event to be a very non-violent event, and we hope that this is all very peaceful to respect the memory of George Floyd. But you never know what can happen, especially what we've seen across the country with numerous protests and riots. So hopefully everything will be peaceful and not violent.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we shift, one of the things that ultimately a lot of the protesters wanted was there to be justice, swift justice in regards to the police officer Dennis Chauvin. As you know, his charges were increased from third-degree murder to second, and also manslaughter. Also, the other 3 officers who were there looking on, their bail was set at $1 million, and also we have that they also are charged with aiding and abetting in second-degree murder and also aiding and abetting in second-degree manslaughter. So definitely looking at being able to make sure that the proper justice is going to be dealt upon those individuals for the death of George Floyd.
Yeah, and that's what the family and all the protesters are hoping. They are hoping that justice is going to be made for the death of George Floyd. the sentence for Derek Chauvin has already been increased to second-degree murder. They considered that third-degree murder was not enough, especially third-degree murder and manslaughter. That was the initial charge that he received. They considered that since it was intentional, that an increase of charge was needed, and that's been done. So hopefully, justice is being made, and things are getting done the way they're supposed to do. On a different note, if we're going to Mexico, another police brutality in Mexico. We have the case of Giovanni Lopez that was brutally assaulted by a police officer for not wearing a mask. So we have here a suspect that was in the street, was stopped by a police officer for not wearing a mask, and he was brutally assaulted.
There we can see the video there of what occurred. Somewhat of an amateur taking video here. And you can see the pushing of back and forth there. And
No hay pedo, si lo matan no hay pedo. Se me fueron los golpes.
No le hizo
Usted.
nada. No, él estaba sentado, iba a comer.
Él estaba tranquilo, usted lo golpearon.
Ustedes lo golpearon, ¿por qué se lo llevan así?
oh, you hate to see things like that, unfortunately.
Right, and public officials and some of the people are complaining that no one has been arrested, no one has been charged, and justice has to be made too. They are comparing the U.S., at least in the U.S., someone was arrested. The suspects were arrested, and justice is being made. In Mexico, they're waiting. They're still waiting for that. So. We can see that things are handled in a different way in different parts of the globe.
Absolutely. As we move to more international news, there was an oil spill out in Siberia. Over 20,000 tons of diesel fuel was unfortunately fell into a river stretching about 7 miles long in Siberia, kind of near the city of Norilsk. I don't know if I'm mispronouncing that correctly, but luckily they were able to get some nets in there to be able to hopefully stop that from heading out into the ocean. But that's obviously as Siberia has gotten warmer from the winter, some of that permafrost that was there attached to the refinery there, the tanker fell over, and out came all these tons of oil.
Yes, President Vladimir Putin has declared a state of emergency in a region within the Arctic Circle in a far northern Russia after 20,000 tons of oil leaked into a river from a power plant.
And so you can see there in the diesel fuel has actually turned the river red. Just due to its chemical nature, and so you can see the footage there being brought to us by an Instagram feed and video.
Yeah, it leaked from a tank in an industrial plant operated by a subsidiary of Norilsk Nickel, the world's largest producer of palladium and one of the largest producers of nickel, platinum, and copper.
So we'll look at moving forward in other news. There was a landslide happening in Sweden. Unfortunately, we don't have clips for that. But what basically occurred were some buildings actually slid off right into the sea. So some dramatic news happening there as we look at tropical storm. Still looks like it might be heading up to north towards Cristobal, tropical storm Cristobal, heading up north to Louisiana. However, there's a lot in the weather patterns that may affect that one going forward. We're going to take a quick commercial break, everybody. We have an interview here to be able to come in and share their thoughts on the world. So take a quick commercial break. We'll come right back.
Hi, this is Scarlett Horton. You may remember me from the morning news. We know that finding the right team for your painting project can be overwhelming, and if not done right, a painting project can easily go over your budget. At CertaPro Painters of Central Houston, our professionals will ensure your residential or commercial painting projects run smoothly and are convenient for your schedule, leaving you time for what matters most. CertaPro of Central Houston has been serving the Houston metro area for more than a decade and has a solid reputation. You can read reviews from our clients and see examples of our work on our social media pages, letters of recommendation, website, and Google reviews. Additionally, at CertaPro Painters of Central Houston, we warranty our work for 2 years. We offer free color consultation. We do residential and commercial jobs, interior and exterior, and we are licensed and insured. Not to mention, we are experts in painting cabinets. CertaPro is the largest painting contractor in the USA. Our crews are not only qualified and skilled painters, they are the best at what they do, and we are always on time. Let our experts at CertaPro of Central Houston transform your home and business. Our proven process gives you more time to enjoy moments that matter in the spaces you love. Alfredo, Mallory, and John are experienced professionals who will work with you every step of the way to ensure a flawless finish. Call us today at 713-824-5166 and let CertaPro of Central Houston handle with ease, efficiency, and high professionalism your next residential and commercial painting project, because the world needs color.
In this digital age, conventional business cards are a thing of the past. In fact, most people lose them in minutes of having received them. The NowMedia video business card is recorded with cutting-edge technology designed to be sent out quickly and easily using your smartphone. It features your contact information, summary of all your company's products and services, as well as giving you a fresh and innovative look. Hundreds of companies are already seeing the difference. Call us at 832-384-9588.
Bacteria and viruses like COVID-19, as well as indoor toxins, are a serious and sometimes deadly risk for your children, your loved ones, and your employees. Earth Blue Systems is the solution that ensures a seamless sanitization and odor elimination process by using ozone, nature's powerful and safe oxidizer. As a matter of fact, there are no known bacteria or viruses which are resistant to ozone and its oxidizing effects. Ozone is one of the most powerful disinfectants available, eliminating the need for harsh chemicals or detergents. Ozone gas from Earth Blue's process leaves absolutely no residue. Clothing, bedding, and linens will be sanitized and smelling fresh and clean, but most importantly, sanitized. Food is not harmed. In fact, ozone is approved by the FDA as a food additive preservative and is commonly used for water purification. Earth Blue Systems technology is a less costly alternative to other methods of solving mold and air quality issues. Take a strong and decisive step to keep your family and company odorless and safe. Contact Earth Blue Systems at 713-419-7506.
Welcome back to Now Media News. This is Sherman here. We have an expert guest here, Alberto Diaz-Wild. Thank you much for coming on the show.
Thank you to you for the invitation.
So why don't you explain to people kind of who you are, what you do, and that way they can get an idea of your expertise.
Sure. I have a company called DW Analytics. We are like an independent company that we are focusing like a small investor. That are trying to teach them how to understand their situations, like how they should put their objective in context, and actually after they understand themselves, of course, jump to the market and invest.
So a lot of it comes down to education. What are some of the things that you think people need to know before starting to invest, if they're new to investing?
Well, I think like one of our main objectives is to remove all those like misconceptions that they have, especially in the one that they always think in investment first. And actually it's the opposite. They should think in themselves, where they are, what they want to achieve. And then after they understand that, and they can actually understand what type of investment fit their portfolio.
So kind of in a sense, start with the end in mind versus just going after a rate of return or a fee.
Exactly, And they are like every time that I have a client, I really, really have to pinpoint that because they have misconception that large investors just go and bet into the market and actually not. Actually, the real investors actually make the analysis, understand what's going on with the environment, where they want to achieve, and then apart of having an army of people working for them, and then they invest.
Yeah. So then with what's happening right now, all the volatility in the market, what's your advice to somebody that has, their retirement money, kind of how they should be feeling about their money? Should they be pulling it all out, or what's kind of your thoughts there for them?
First, it's like a case by case. Again, every single investor is totally different. Then you actually, again, as I repeat, you have to understand which person you are dealing with. But said that, of course, depending on the time horizon, you start to have different strategies. And what we always, again, pinpoint is to remain in your strategy. Again, volatility comes and goes, but if your strategy is actually solid and follow your objectives, it has to be in then a positive outlook. Then remain in your strategy. That's my best advice.
Gotcha. So don't allow like the day-to-day really affect if your strategy is 30 years away. How does one day really affect the overall portfolio movement if you're really focused on much more the long term?
Exactly. Of course, if you create your own strategy and you never pay attention of it, of course you have to sit with especially a specialist and actually start to analyze it again, your past strategy or what you have right now, and then put a solid one. But if you're already working and then you have a strategy and you're confident about it, don't move right now.
Gotcha. And so for a lot of people, they might be thinking about maybe they don't have enough cash, enough savings. Mm-hmm. Is there any advice that you kind of give people where they should get maybe some safe money first, or they keep a portion of their portfolio in safe money if they need to, have a layoff or they're out of work for a bit?
This is one misconception that I'm too poor to actually think in my finance, and that's totally wrong. First, yes, there's, like you said, there's an entire strategy of a person. It's not only like my retirement or my savings or my emergency fund. It's all, you have to tie it all together and actually create a full strategy, a full portfolio. What is recommended normally for these kind of situations is to remain, to have at least 3 months of actual expense, in your emergency fund. Nevertheless, now to my clients that are kind of hesitant of they're having really difficult situation with their work, I'll say, okay, let's put like 3 to 6 months just to see what happens, to remain in the safe space, But still, if they have the other part of the portfolio, have to be fully invested. Keep the strategy. And you have to, slightly change the allocations of the portfolios, depending on, of course, the person and what is the current situation. But if the events haven't happened yet, you don't have to change the entire strategy for that.
So it sounds like people need to think more about when they're going to use their money versus treating it like one big pot of money.
Exactly. And that's the first thing. And then for that, you have to really, and that's the most important thing that financial people can do for your client is actually translate all those objectives into actually their portfolio. Because some of them, they want some part of their savings to create a business in 1 or 2 years. They want to have their emergency fund because if they lose their job, they want to send their kids to college probably 5 or 10 years. And they want to retirement or even buy a boat. And all those things are horizons for us. And then we have to create the portfolio according to that.
So I know a lot of the misconception is in order to work with someone, I need to have a lot of money, right? In order to use a specialist. Mm-hmm. And you mentioned kind of working with a smaller investor. Mm-hmm. What does that mean to you and your firm?
For me, it's actually give them a product, tools, to understand themselves. Because when they understand their decisions and the impact that they have in their finance, their perspective changes totally, Then they start to actually make sound decisions and start to create literally strategies and structures, financial structures that actually they can invest their money. Because they don't think when they arrive to you that their house is an investment. their like a pension or their 401ks are actual investments. They just forget about it and say, oh, that money will be fine. And that's not true. They have to put it to work. And then when they start to see the impact, they start to again take, oh, this is my entire portfolio, my human capital, my insurance, my real estate, my 401k, my savings, all of that in my portfolio. Then for my perspective, what we do in our company is actually give them a product, a tool that they can analyze themselves. And that by itself is a product, a financial plan that they can work with. They don't need to invest nothing with us. They don't have to buy anything with us. They just need to make a financial plan. And that's a big, big part of investment. That's the base of everything for going forward. And then we have like a second stage where we create a structure if they need it. And finally, in the third, like the cherry in the cake, you actually invest the money.
So it sounds like it's more of a process in helping them get a strategy, as you mentioned before, before deciding what to do with the money.
Exactly. No, for us, is that the other misconception that people think that you have like a magic ball and you actually will like pull the rabbit or something like that. And that's not true. You have to trust in process, in tools. And that's what we're trying to bring. Like those tools that large investors regularly use and all these like know-how that they normally use to actually the small investor. In my company, we actually believe that small investors have the same complexity of lives that large investors. They have tools and they don't. The other don't.
So a lot of times it's being able to help people have the same tools that some larger organizations or even larger portfolios might have in order to help them navigate what's happening in their finances.
Exactly. Again, and show them the mathematic route.
Yeah.
I would say. We all that's what the name of my company, Double Analytics, because I'm in love with mathematics. And I think that mathematics simplify things instead of make it more complex.
So for most people, the average person finds math as still very complicated, right? Especially when you add the kind of mystery of money. But really, that's kind of your guys' role to be able to educate people, make them feel at ease that the decisions that they're making is more of a strategy towards a plan versus just trying to buy a product.
Exactly, no? And also like it's a relation that you form with your clients, because these people don't have access to actual financial advisors. They normally have access to insurance agents or real estate agents, like people that actually selling products that are good, like they're sometimes a good investment, but they don't have that relation with somebody that actually had the fiduciary duty to help them out. Then that's like the big difference. And then by showing them, by educate them, they start to understand that finance is not like a black box. It's actually something fun.
Yeah. And so it sounds like it's a very comprehensive approach to someone's financial picture than maybe picking off one particular area. You at your firm look at the whole infrastructure of a household financially and see where it's headed.
Exactly. No. Pretty much our job is optimize all their assets.
Okay. And so for someone that might, be, finding themselves needing to talk with someone, what's an easy way for them to get in touch with you to be able to make sure that they are thinking through things properly?
For me, it's just like reach us by phone. My phone is 832-655-0126. Just to have a conversation. Feel what are their fears, what they're feeling or what they're looking for. And then having that conversation pretty much clarifies a lot of what is their objective and what you can help them with. Or they can send me an email to adias@dwanalytics.com or just visit our webpage, www.dwanalytics.com.
Okay, dwanalytics.com. Wonderful. Well, thank you very much, Alberto, for coming in. Is there anything that, experiencing the volatility right now, what's in the market, right, with COVID-19, I know a lot of people are a little bit nervous about continuing to invest, or they're concerned about, hey, if I lost my job, should I pull out my money? What would your kind of advice be for them at this particular time as we look at the market?
Well, first, for deploying money, actually, there's so much uncertainty that they cannot actually put one in a basket. Then, of course, for my company, we have a portfolio for a company that we believe that they will actually thrive during this time. Nevertheless, what we recommend to our clients is different. What we recommend is that they deploy their money in chunks, in chunks. Not by feeling, not by time. Okay, 1 month. If it's like a 4 delivers, okay, we can divide it in 4 months. We can divide it in a month, in different weeks. But the point is like you have to deploy the capital at different times. My company believes in like a efficient market. Then I cannot stress that mathematically you cannot beat the market.
Right.
Then you have to be smart how you deploy your capital. If you want to, again, change the strategy, is different, Of course, if you already have all your assets in stocks, you might want to be in a safer place. Then you have to diversify your asset, probably in fixed income, and some of the more secure assets like government debt, or even though like just pull to like a short-term debt. If they feel the fear, I mean, it's their money again. Their feelings is like also have to be included, and that's the thing. Like when you do a strategy, you have 2 things: one, the capacity of the individual to invest, but also the will of the person to invest, and you have to actually balance both.
So it sounds like much more behavioral economics in what you deal with in helping someone navigate their overall financial plan versus chasing some kind of rate of return out there.
Exactly. I think that's the most dangerous. Like there's so much information right now, even for financial people, it's like so hard to actually digest all the information. And I just see clients like getting crazy with so much noise, and they want to take decisions on those like signals, and they have to be really careful with that, because doing that is meaning that you don't have any strategy at all.
What's the overall feeling right now? I know you can't give any predictions, right? And nobody really can on where the market's headed. But what's the overall feeling for the economy with the large amount of unemployment? What do you guys feel at your firm is kind of where the economy is going to go?
There are 2 things that I'm actually really actively looking into it. First of all is the economy at itself, like the unemployment, the inflation. That right now there's all of that is bad signals,
Yeah.
And even for us, it's really impressive what is going on with the market. But said that, we also follow to the Fed and the fiscal stimulus from the government, because I think that will be playing an amazing job these days, because you see that like companies are being able to have liquidity, and then like they are being solvent, at least for this bad time. Nevertheless, I'll be really careful on like the coming problems, because until now none of the bad news had affected the market, and that's too good to be true. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And the virus, it seems like it disappears from nowhere, like from. Then we are like constantly monitoring all these like signals, because the investor sentiment can change so fast that you can you can pretty much lose a lot of the momentum, Then for that, we recommend our customers to be careful, to actually be still in a defensive. Be cautious don't deploy all your money on once, because that's just a call to disaster.
So it sounds like, as you heard there, folks, from Alberto Diaz, thank you so much for coming on the show. So much more important to have a plan, have a strategy, and then make sure that you're working with a professional. So really appreciate you coming on. DWAnalytics.com. We're going to take a quick commercial break, folks, and come back with more of the news.
Hi, this is Scarlett Horton. You may remember me from the morning news. We know that finding the right team for your painting project can be overwhelming, and if not done right, a painting project can easily go over your budget. At CertaPro Painters of Central Houston, our professionals will ensure your residential or commercial painting projects run smoothly and are convenient for your schedule, leaving you time for what matters most. CertaPro of Central Houston has been serving the Houston metro area for more than a decade and has a solid reputation. You can read reviews from our clients and see examples of our work on our social media pages, letters of recommendation, website, and Google reviews. Additionally, at CertaPro Painters of Central Houston, we warranty our work for 2 years. We offer free color consultation. We do residential and commercial jobs, interior and exterior, and we are licensed and insured. Not to mention, we are experts in painting cabinets. CertaPro is the largest painting contractor in the USA. Our crews are not only qualified and skilled painters, they are the best at what they do, and we are always on time. Let our experts at CertaPro of Central Houston transform your home and business. Our proven process gives you more time to enjoy moments that matter in the spaces you love. Alfredo, Mallory, and John are experienced professionals who will work with you every step of the way to ensure a flawless finish. Call us today at 713-824-5166 and let CertaPro of Central Houston handle with ease, efficiency, and high professionalism your next residential and commercial painting project. Because the world needs color.
In this digital age, conventional business cards are a thing of the past. In fact, most people lose them in minutes of having received them. The NowMedia Video Business Card is recorded with cutting-edge technology designed to be sent out quickly and easily using your smartphone. It features your contact information, summary of all your company's products and services, as well as giving you a fresh and innovative look. Hundreds of companies are already seeing the difference. Call us at 832-384-9588.
The right tax team is key to any successful business. At America's Tax Firm, our goal is to help individuals and businesses of all sizes with accounting solutions and tax strategies that yield profitability, sustainability, and growth. At America's Tax Firm, we have a team of experienced tax consultants and advisors that can help your company optimize business strategies to minimize taxes and reduce liabilities. From preparing and filing your personal or business taxes, or choosing the right legal structure for your business, to resolving complex tax issues with the IRS. America's Tax Firm is your turnkey solution. Take a strong and decisive step and let America's Tax Firm be part of your success.
You can see we're there at viewing of the funeral there, live viewing of the Minneapolis for George Floyd there. That's
right. We can see a video of the memorial that's taking place in Minneapolis for the death of George Floyd, and we can see the mayor of Minneapolis, Jacob Frey, crying by George Floyd's casket. The Reverend Al Sharpton denounced racism and called for accountability in the criminal justice as he delivered a speech for George Floyd's memorial.
all right. In other news, as a reminder, Houston will be hosting the public viewing for George Floyd here on, that'll be when again, Maite?
The viewing will take place on Monday, and the funeral will be held in Houston on Tuesday. And people they have to wear a mask, they have to wear a glove, they have to keep a certain distance between each other. And a lot of security is going to be in place in Houston, just in case this is supposed to be a peaceful gathering. But because what we've seen in the last few days across the country, there's going to be high security in Houston. Expecting Monday for the public viewing and Tuesday for the funeral.
And the funeral will be private on Tuesday, so might be a large crowd gathering. But their encouragement really is, if you want to go and pay your respects to George Floyd, Monday is the time to be able to do that. What was the name of the church again, Maite?
Right, the public viewing is set for Monday at the Fountain of Praise Church, and is scheduled at 1395 Hillcrest Avenue from noon to 6. Again, casual attire is required, or they can wear casual attire. Mask and gloves are required as well. And like I said, not more than 500 people will be allowed in the premises.
So still keeping, of course, with Governor Abbott's here in the city of Houston. The state of Texas are reopening orders where places of whether it's bars or restaurants or places of worship can only come at a certain capacity, right? So 50% for restaurants and places of worship is the capacity number, and then for bars only 25%. So that's still a part of it as we look at the reopening or reoccupation, repopulation, whatever title you want to call it. We have to understand that although we want to be gathering in large groups, we want to be able to come together during this time, we still need to be able to be aware of the people that are frail and those that can pass on this COVID-19. So wearing of masks is still extremely crucial during this time.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially 2 restaurants had to close in Houston because some staff members had COVID-19, had contracted the virus. Mustafa's restaurant in the Galleria, and also FM Kitchen and Bar, which is a popular restaurant in the Washington Avenue area towards downtown. So we have to be aware that this is something that's still going on, that these 2 restaurants had to close because of people contracting the virus. So yes, we do advise people to be aware, not to congregate in large masses, and if they do protest, this to keep distance, and hopefully for the private viewing and the funeral, it would be peaceful, and people will be responsible and aware of that. We still have COVID-19 out there. That's not completely clear. Right? We don't have a vaccine as of yet, so everybody has to be aware of that.
Yeah, and so as, the interesting thing, Maite, is we probably can anticipate a lot of other businesses like those 2 restaurants, not only in Houston, but just throughout the country, to maybe have to shut down, to have to clean things again. And that's a major concern for a lot of businesses as they look at reopening. How do we do it in a safe way? Number 1, for our employees, and number 2, for anybody that decides to visit the business or visit the facility. Do we need to have more space between the visits? Do we need to have more space between where people are gathering and maybe at the checkout line? And so that way we're able to abide by the social distancing. The wearing of masks, the wearing of gloves are crucial to be able to make sure that we can not have a major second wave of COVID-19 infections and then leading to fatality. In other news, when we go to the GOP, President hopeful Joe Biden, actually, in the primaries, which actually occurred yesterday, 2 days ago, actually won those 9 states. So looking like he's more likely than not going to be the Democratic Party's go-to for the November election here in 2020. President Trump still is putting a little bit of pressure on North Carolina to have a larger gathering, a larger venue. But again, we're in the midst of COVID-19, so there's not much you can do to increase capacity.
Right. According to the polls, apparently so far Biden was ahead by 11 points. So still a few months till the final elections in November. So we'll see what happens.
All right, we're going to break for a quick commercial break, everybody. We'll come back with more of the news from Now Media News.
Hi, this is Scarlett Horton. You may remember me from the morning news. We know that finding the right team for your painting project can be overwhelming, and if not done right, a painting project can easily go over your budget. At CertaPro Painters of Central Houston, our professionals will ensure your residential or commercial painting projects run smoothly and are convenient for your schedule, leaving you time for what matters most. CertaPro of Central Houston has been serving the Houston metro area for more than a decade and has a solid reputation. You can read reviews from our clients and see examples of our work on our social media pages, letters of recommendation, website, and Google reviews. Additionally, at CertaPro Painters of Central Houston, we warranty our work for 2 years. We offer free color consultation. We do residential and commercial jobs, interior and exterior. And we are licensed and insured. Not to mention, we are experts in painting cabinets. CertaPro is the largest painting contractor in the USA. Our crews are not only qualified and skilled painters, painters. They are the best at what they do, and we are always on time. Let our experts at CertaPro of Central Houston transform your home and business. Our proven process gives you more time to enjoy moments that matter in the spaces you love. Alfredo, Mallory, and John are experienced professionals who will work with you every step of the way to ensure a flawless finish. Call us today at 713-824-5166 and let CertaPro of Central Houston handle with ease, efficiency, and high professionalism your next residential and commercial painting project. Because the world needs color.
In this digital age, conventional business cards are a thing of the past. In fact, most people lose them in minutes of having received them. The NowMedia Video Business Card is recorded with cutting-edge technology designed to be sent out quickly and easily using your smartphone. It features your contact information, summary of all your company's products and services, as well as giving you a fresh and innovative look. Hundreds of companies are already seeing the difference. Call us at 832-384-9588.
Bacteria and viruses like COVID-19, as well as indoor toxins, are a serious and sometimes deadly risk for your children, your loved ones, and your employees. Earth Blue Systems is the solution that ensures a seamless sanitization and odor elimination process by using ozone, nature's powerful and safe oxidizer. As a matter of fact, there are no known bacteria or viruses which are resistant to ozone and its oxidizing effects. Ozone is one of the most powerful disinfectants available, eliminating the need for harsh chemicals or detergents. Ozone gas from Earth Blue's process leaves absolutely no residue. Clothing, bedding, and linens will be sanitized and smelling fresh and clean, but most importantly, sanitized. Food is not harmed. In fact, ozone is approved by the FDA as a food additive preservative and is commonly used for water purification. Earth Blue Systems technology is a less costly alternative to other methods of solving mold and air quality issues. Take a strong and decisive step to keep your family and company odorless and safe. Contact Earth Blue Systems at 713-419-7506.
Welcome back to Now Media News. You can see here we're looking at the memorial taking place in Minneapolis. Who's there, Maite?
Yes, Sherman. He's George Floyd's family was there, joined by civil rights leader Reverend Jesse Jackson, Democratic Minnesota Representative Ilhan Omar, Martin Luther King III, and actor Kevin Hart among the people that attended the memorial in Minneapolis. As we can see, Mayor Jacob Frey approached the casket and broke down crying. And again, George Floyd's funeral will take place in Houston next Tuesday.
And then as we have other news come, there's other celebrities, Maite, that are being very generous with their wealth and looking at making an impact. Floyd Mayweather, the famous boxer, former professional athlete, has actually pledged that he would pay for George Floyd's funeral. So as they move the body from Minneapolis down to the Houston area, that will be courtesy of Floyd Mayweather.
Yes, and speaking of other celebrities that are being generous and considered, Kanye West has helped some charities, including Black Lives Matter, and will donate $2 million for George Floyd's daughter to pay for her tuition.
So we see some good things happening coming out of a tragedy, right? You, of course, don't want something like this to happen, but it's great to see people who are coming together using their wealth to be able to help others during a time of tragedy.
Right, and we've seen a lot of people coming together, a lot of people stepping up and voicing their opinion and helping. So out of a bad thing comes also a good thing. So that's good.
And I know that there's a beautiful memorial up in the Third Ward as a tribute to George Floyd with some angel wings. And if you get a chance, you're in the Houston area, feel free to go visit that in the Third Ward. It's just an absolutely beautiful depiction there. In political news, unfortunately, the former Secretary Mathis has come out very in opposition to President Trump about the way that he's dividing the country, the way that he's going about, unfortunately, the way that he's handling a lot of these sensitive things that have occurred in our country, not only the COVID-19, but more specifically the racial divide that's brought us to where we are today with many of the protests. The president has come out very particular about the use of the National Guard, calling some of the governors weak if they didn't use more force in some of these individuals that are going about protesting. More so, the conversation seemed like it was aimed at those that are protesting in an illegal manner, where they're vandalizing things, they're destroying public and private property. And again, those things shouldn't occur at all. There's no reason for that kind of activity. Violence doesn't beget peace.
That's right, yes. On a different note, the NBA's Board of Governors on Thursday have approached a plan to restart its suspended season at Disney World in Florida.
So that's some great news for all those starving to see some live action in sports.
Right.
Some of the details haven't come out yet, might they? But we know that it's going to occur at the Disneyland, the ESPN Worldwide Arena Sports Complex there in Orlando. So pretty exciting. I think there's about 20 or 30 different stadiums, arenas there that they can choose from. The details of who's going to be playing, who, and the schedule is yet to be decided. If spectators can even go, might they? That is to be determined.
Right, that's correct. And the European Central Bank has increased its pandemic emergency purchase program, injecting 600 billion euros, $676 billion on Wednesday. So that hopes to inject some money into the economy of Europe, who's been suffering during the last few months due to the pandemic.
Absolutely. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll come back with more of the U.S. economy and where we're at.
The right tax team is key to any successful business. At America's Tax Firm, our goal is to help individuals and businesses of all sizes with accounting solutions and tax strategies that yield profitability, sustainability, and growth. At America's Tax Firm, we have a team of experienced tax consultants and advisors that can help your company optimize business strategies to minimize taxes and reduce liabilities. From preparing and filing your personal or business taxes, or choosing the right legal structure for your business, to resolving complex tax issues with the IRS. America's Tax Firm is your turnkey solution. Take a strong and decisive step and let America's Tax Firm be part of your success.
News, everybody. Got some breaking news. What's happening with some Iranian and Chinese hackers? What's happening there, Maite?
Yes, apparently some Chinese and Iranian hackers are hacking into Biden's and Trump's polls.
Their emails, right?
Yes.
Some of the even the staffers' emails, right?
For the election, for upcoming election. So we see what is it a deja vu? Is it that history is going to repeat itself?
Well, as we know, one of the things that the Chinese and Iranians are looking at as they look at some of the social media feed that's happening in the United States, they start propaganding to their country about how divided, how inept, out of control the American country is, because those countries have the ability to control the media. That's exactly what they're saying about the United States, and so they want to be able to get in and really wreak havoc on what's happening in our electoral system.
Yes, and I hope that doesn't happen because that would not be good, definitely.
Well, it just defeats the whole democratic purpose, right, of us being able to vote in who we want to be our leader. And so at the same time right now, with a lot of what's grabbing the headlines, might they, isn't the politics, right? Which typically around this time of year we have, the President Trump and the President Biden, or candidate, if you will, they would be campaigning all over the United States, gathering people together, sharing what their plans are for the future of the country. And yet here we are in many states still in stay-at-home orders. There's none of that campaigning occurring right now.
Yeah, there's not. And then what we have is this protests and there's riots in different cities across the U.S. rather than the two candidates campaigning in different cities. So that's a different way. This 2020 campaign is presented itself in a different way than what we have seen. And the outcome is going to be very interesting.
It will. And what's interesting is that it looks like President hopeful Joe Biden, he's going to be picking his running mate, the vice president, to run with him. And there is much talk that he will be picking somebody that's going to be able to navigate this kind of racial divide. So it'll be really interesting there. If we take a quick break here, we have a clip here.
I think we have a clip here. Speaking of the protests, we've seen Batman in the midst of this protest, somebody dressed in a Batman costume.
Looks like he's going to just make sure that there's order, law and order. Batman vigilante style.
That's right.
All right, folks, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Appreciate it. We'll come back for some of the news on the weather.
Bacteria and viruses like COVID-19, as well as indoor toxins, are a serious and sometimes deadly risk for your children, your loved ones, and your employees. Earth Blue Systems is the solution that ensures a seamless sanitization and odor elimination process by using ozone, nature's powerful and safe oxidizer. As a matter of fact, there are no known bacteria or viruses which are resistant to ozone and its oxidizing effects. Ozone is one of the most powerful disinfectants available, eliminating the need for harsh chemicals or detergents. Ozone gas from Earth Blue's process leaves absolutely no residue. Clothing, bedding, and linens will be sanitized and smelling fresh and clean, but most importantly, sanitized. Food is not harmed. In fact, ozone is approved by the FDA as a food additive preservative and is commonly used for water purification. Earth Blue Systems technology is a less costly alternative to other methods of solving mold and air quality issues. Take a strong and decisive step to keep your family and company odorless and safe. Contact Earth Blue Systems at 713-419-7506.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Breaking news, whistleblower that used to work for BNY Mellon was just awarded $50 million through the SEC for whistleblowing on Bank of NY Mellon for the currency. So that's, I guess, a good news if you're wanting to be honest. It pays to be honest. As we look at the weather, Tropical Storm Cristobal is being downgraded, unfortunately, now to tropical depression.
That's right.
You can see there the live satellite footage there of Tropical Depression Cristobal. Actually, was spinning right over there over eastern Mexico. And right now, it's looking like it's heading further north. Anticipation, might they, where that's kind of be headed from some of the experts?
It's going to be heading towards Louisiana, it seems.
It looks like it'll be west. Of course, trying to track the weather, right, is a very difficult thing to do. But the anticipation it might head up west of New Orleans, which would be a good thing for New Orleans. Obviously, this is something that we want to be able to track over the weekend. That's the news, everybody. Have a great weekend. Stay safe.